Hello there, everyone. I have been watching a lot of ASMR videos in the past year or so. Um, I stumbled across the community just looking on YouTube for sleep relaxation type stuff. It had been a challenging time at work, and I was just looking for something to kind of help me relax and wind down for the night, and came across this community um, that was talking about this tingling sensation, and what they were describing was exactly like what I had felt at various times in my life, and it was so cool to find out that a lot of other people were experiencing the same thing. And that there was a name for it, and that there was this whole community of YouTubers dedicated to helping each other experience that sensation, and it's more than that too. It's just like this cool little family, well, big family, um, and I've been really enjoying videos from various ASM artists, and wanted to give a shot at making my own ASMR video. So I was I'm doing a graduate program in Dallas, and I was hanging out with some friends, trying to get to know some new friends, and we grabbed dinner in Dallas, and drove to a half-price bookstore, and we were walking around, and I wanted to get a book. I saw a couple of old, like, antique books that were really cool looking. Had some beautiful poetry in them, but they were a little on the expensive side. But I found this, and it looked like the kind of thing that I did when I was a kid, that I enjoyed, puzzle solving and stuff. So I picked it up and kind of glanced through it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I had the idea to use it to do my first little ASMR video here, so we'll see how this turns out. So in the book, you're going through a maze, and the book gives you pictures. It's kind of like one of those old video games where it's like a dungeon crawler, and you click forward and click to the side and open up doors and try not to get eaten by a zombie or something. But it's in book form with pictures showing you the different rooms of the maze, and you're going through this labyrinth, and you get to pick which doors you go to, and well, you'll see. So I'll go ahead and open it up, and this is my first time trying to go through it, so we'll see how we do. Cool thing about books, like, the sound of the pages turning is really nice, but I just love the smell of books. I won't like sit here and smell the book on the video, but I love going into Barnes & Noble and just taking a deep breath and just being around books and smelling them. I don't know if that's totally creepy, but I think it's fun. Alright, here we go. And I'll attempt to read upside down here so you can see. I'm sorry I don't have awesome camera equipment and recording equipment, but maybe it'll be a hearkening back to the YouTube days of yesteryear. and the awesomeness thereof before people had like entire recording studios devoted to stuff like this. Alright. This is not really a book. This is a building in the shape of a book, a maze. Each numbered page depicts a room in the maze. The doors in each room lead to other rooms. For example, the room on page 1 has doors leading to rooms 20, 26, 41, and 12. I hope I got that right. It's hard to read numbers upside down. To go through door number 20, simply turn to page 20. Your challenge is to find your way from room 1 after the prologue to room 45 and then back to room 1 using the shortest possible path. If you use your head, you should be able to make the journey in only 16 steps. So we'll have to count. I don't know if I'll be able to do it in 16, but we'll get there by gimme. Okay. There are any number of clues in the drawings and in the story to help you choose the right door in each room. Clues in a series of rooms may relate to one another and may indicate a path. Other clues may refer to a specific door in a single room. Anything in this book might be a clue. Not all clues are necessarily trustworthy. Once you've found the shortest path in and out of the maze, challenge yourself further. Go back and find the riddle hidden in room 45. The answer to that riddle is concealed somewhere on the shortest path. Now proceed to the prologue. Your guide awaits you. I don't know if we'll have time for the special challenge, but we'll at least get through the maze once. Alright. You can't really see both pages on my camera, so I'll read it and we'll look at the picture. It's like story time. Prologue. The maze. I met them at the gate, though I usually wait inside, preoccupied with their own thoughts, impatient like so many children. They didn't see who I really was. They never noticed my crown, my pain, the fire in my eyes. Like all the others, they think the maze was made for them. Actually, it is the other way around. They think I am some poet who will lead them through the symbols and spaces of this underworld. They think I will teach them lessons. They should call me Cerberus. I am the lesson. The monstrous walls rise up and run away as far as the human eye can see, circling and dividing. Which half is the maze? Even I get lost. It changes, sometimes slowly, imperceptibly, sometimes suddenly. This house is not only made of stone and mortar, wood and paint. It is made of time and mystery, hope and fear. Construction never stops. I take some pride in my role as architect. They think I will guide them to the center. Perhaps I will. The sun was very hot. Together, we walked through the gate into So there seems to be an umbrella outside. I don't know if that's a clue, but we'll try and remember that. And it looks like there's a picture of a bottle or something on the door. The entrance hall of the maze. They looked carefully at the bronze doors, trying to choose. The uncertainty of visitors is one of my little pleasures. It's easy to get lost, I said helpfully. This can be a sinister place. The sun glared at me through the gateway. Something was ringing behind one of the doors. They spent some time trying to decide which door it was, not understanding that the silences of the maze are as eloquent as the sounds. Decisions, decisions, one said. Too many decisions. The story of my life, said another. That reminds me of the One Direction song. That's like the only song by them that I like. It's a good song, though. "We don't want to be late," said a third, opening one of the doors. "Nary a soul to be seen," said the first, peering into the gloom. I waited patiently for them to choose which way to go. Into. So we've got some strange symbols. We've got a drum on the story door, a cup on the fable door, a bottle on the tale door, and I can't tell, it's like an apple maybe, on the yarn door. And they all seem to be names of synonyms for story. And I'm not sure what these symbols are. They look, I don't know, I think I should probably know what that is. I've done a little bit of research on different languages. I should probably know if that's a language, so don't flame me in the comments section for not knowing. I apologize. But you can tell me if you know what they are. I'm going to pick the story door. Okay. Page 20. Oh, let's try this. See how this goes. A turtle. Into room number 20. The ringing stopped as soon as we entered. Okay, so we didn't go into the room with the thing making the ringing sound. "What is the matter now?" I asked them. "Too many animals for a proper house." They walked carefully around the edges of the room. I watched with an amusement, shared, I think, by the wise old tortoise. With backward looks and muttered comments about turtles, they left room number 20 and entered. Do we want to go back? Do we want to go forward? Strange statue of a tower there. It looks like an old phone. But that wasn't what was ringing. I wonder if we go through another door, it'll mention the ringing again. I'm trying to decide if I want to just kind of wander through the maze or if I want to be more systematic about it and go back to room number 1 and see all of the different rooms. I think since this is my first read through, I'll just kind of wander around and see what happens. It looks like a grandfather clock in there. That interests me. So we'll go to page 27. A darkened chamber dominated by a large figure. We could see that someone had been working here recently. The entrance I had so carefully hidden had been uncovered. I made a note to return as soon as I could and fill in the hole again. The visitors were so intrigued with the entrance at the bottom of the excavation that they ignored what the figure was trying to tell them. "Where are the workmen?" "They must be ahead of us," I said. "If we hurry, we can catch up with them." I herded the group through the door to I'm going to have to turn this around for a second. I can't read that. Fatavium Invenient? Is that supposed to be Latin or something? It says Fatavium Invenient. I do not know what that means, but that kind of creeps me out. And we can't go back now. Alright, I'm going to go through door number 13. I'm seeing some glimpses of some of the different rooms here. We'll just pretend like we don't see them. Oh, too far. Okay, 13. They weren't really comfortable here, and I knew why. No, no, they said. We're not all superstitious. Only some of you, then? They were worried it might be Friday. Well, it's true that it was closer to the end of the week than they realized. It takes a great deal of experience, certainly more than they possessed, to understand how time works in the maze. The clock thought it was 6 in the evening. Quickly moving on, we came to got a sundial, we got a director's chair, and a lamp. The sundial, is it pointing at any time? I don't see a shadow. This says millennium, century, decade, year, month, week, day, hour, minute. This room must be all about time. Interesting. Alright, put it door number 25. I hope you can hear the sounds of the pages turning. Let me know if you can or can't, or if there are things I could do differently for the next video. A high room with the image of a crown on the wall for everyone to see now. Though one of my parents might be low-born, the other was close to a king. I've always felt at home here. Which door we take, they wanted to know. I rather brusquely indicated the 3 doors. Any of these is fine for my purposes. They were disconcerted at the apparent lack of clues. Perhaps in another room, they said, leaving 4. Guess we can't go through that door. The faces, that reminds me of that psychology tool that they use in order to measure your pain level whenever you're at the doctor's office or in the hospital, where it shows the different faces, or tools that they use for other kinds of tests when they're researching different psychological attributes. I forget the name of that type of tool. There's a name for it. I can't remember. It's been a while since I studied that. Okay, 35. appeared to be someone's basement. One of them sank gratefully down on an old couch, which promptly collapsed. I tried to hide my smile. "A totem of tribal fetish," said one walking around the center of the room. "It could be a work of art," suggested another. "Perhaps it's a signal to us," the thoughtful one said. "A warning or direction?" "Not much help when there is only one way to go," put in another. "I still think it's a signal." "Yes," I said right away. "I'm sure you're right." She was immediately suspicious. Still, with no real choice to make, we left the thing standing alone in light and silence, and went into 33. This is strange. The story is strange. It's very cryptic. It reminds me of an indie video game, but I guess this is probably older than the indie video game movement. Let's see, when was this made? Does it say? 1985. You probably can't read that on my camera, but 1985 is when this was made. So this is like the indie book movement to precede the indie video game movement. Pretty cool. Okay. Version 33. That's kind of neat. The room with no floor. They crowded each other on the narrow ledge. The bold one ventured out to the center, realizing that they could see all of the signs only from the center of the room. Several wanted to turn back. With exaggerated caution, considering their predicament, they finally reached the door they wanted and eventually found themselves in... Oh, there's a picture of a crown. Right there. And a sword. Which one did we came from 35? That has a picture. And it looks like an upside down ladder or something. And there's the drum that we saw at the beginning. I'm gonna go through the crown door. Let's go to number 7. The symbols have to mean something. Alright, here's a picture. Lots of portraits in this room. I like looking at portraits and paintings if they're in an art museum, but not if they're in a creepy house. And this place seems kind of creepy. A pleasant room with 3 doors and a lamp. Looking at the picture on the wall, they decided it wasn't a very good likeness. One of them almost fell over something on the floor. "Why don't they pick up after themselves?" he said, sounding like an old man. "Weren't you ever irresponsible?" I asked, thinking of my childhood and how wild I had been. Music was being played somewhere nearby. We stopped to listen for a moment. Leaving the pictures, looking out at an empty room, we went over to I wonder why they call it messy. There's only one toy on the floor. Perhaps that's a clue. This lampshade reminds me of an ASMR prop. I can't talk. Prop that I've seen used in a particular ASMR artist's video series. Let's see. 33 is where we came from. 36 has a note on the door. 16 has a rug. To 16, let's find out where 16 goes. A stone chamber, which reminded me of my old neighbors. Of course, that was a long time ago now. But would you believe their descendants are still telling stories about me and my family to their children? Even if most of the stories are lies and exaggerations, it is immortality of a sort. As I passed in front of an open doorway, a figure crossing the hall outside saw me and immediately ran off. Who was that? They asked. Another visitor, to be sure. Why did he run away? You probably scared him, I said, and they apparently believed me. With few regrets on my part, we left for. Strange little person. Have we been there yet? I don't think we have, but I think we had the option to go there at some point. That's my place. An old and ruinous part of the house. Turning a corner, the music we had been hearing became louder, and at last we saw the musicians themselves. They were so involved that they failed to hear us. The music was suited to the scene, a moody, romantic melody. We stopped to listen, and I admit that I, too, was affected by the sound as well as by the spectacle of the masked players. One of the visitors noticed me listening. Beautiful music, don't you think? It's not bad, I said stiffly. The viol brings the right sense of warmth to the piece, but the guitarist is overplaying his part. Still, he adds a certain plangent brio to an otherwise introspective composition. Unwilling to interrupt the concert, we slipped past the musicians into the door. Page 16. A stone chamber. Oh, we've been here before. Okay. So I think this led us in a circle. Let's see, page 36 led us to the musicians. Page 16 leads us to this room where we saw a little person running by. So we'll head back to page 7. So 16, 36, and 7 form a circle. Yep. That means we need to go back to 33. So 16, 36, 7, and 33 are dead ends. so we won't go through door 7. Maybe the symbols, if you see them, they tell you where a dead end is going to be. I don't know. But we can't go through there. That's it. That's a drum. That looks like a key of some kind. Well, we'll go to page 3 because we came through 35. So we'll go to page 3. I'm seeing some odd, strange things as I flip through these pages. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing. Trying to read. Oh, it says, what is your sign? And there's a question mark at the end. I was having trouble with that. Interesting. An entirely different kind of place. The group complained of feeling all turned around, as well they might, because no one wanted to stay here very long. They missed the real sign while looking through the obvious. People in their situation, confronted with a challenge, tended to accept the terms of the challenge as a given, without examining it from all sides. How many sides does that problem have? They don't know. We passed down a long flight of stairs, through some sort of pantry, and on into... So, in here, there's supposed to be some kind of sign. If 33, where we came from, is the moon, 18 is the sun. But it's written backwards. Huh, interesting. Everything's written backwards. So, if this way is backwards, was this way the correct way? Maybe this way we're not supposed to go. So should we go back to 33? I think we'll do that. I'm just trying to use some kind of logic here. Well, we know we can't do 3 or 7, so we'll go back to 35. But 33 was the only door we could go through. Okay. So I guess we'll have to go from 33 to 3 to 9. Whoa. I want to go to that room. That one's cool too. Man, we're missing all the cool ones. Okay. 9. 3 led us to 9. What appeared to be an old storeroom. Dust obscured the damaged painting, making it hard to understand just what the artist had intended. This could be a trick of some sort, one said. We might be going around in circles. I don't think so, said the insightful one. I think we're supposed to think it's a trick. That's the trick. So maybe the stop sign was lying to us and telling us that's where we shouldn't go. When It's really where we were supposed to go all along. I can't tell what this painting is supposed to be, though. And that looks like Teddy Roosevelt. That's a blind mouse. Door 18, there's the apple symbol from the room with no floor. It was page 30-something, I think, 35 maybe. Well, let's see what's behind door 18. Oh, gotta read the rest. They all looked at me. Yes, I said, I'm sure you're right about that. With doubtful looks, they left for. Is the guide lying to us? Or is he telling us the truth? Are the signs all lying to us? Is everything just meant to confuse us? Do the signs have nothing to do with it, and they're just red herrings? And the real solution is something else? I don't know. A much warmer room. Shadows danced across the floor to the fire's music. Someone lost his hat. Are you sure it's the hat that is lost? I asked reasonably enough. No one would answer me. Ducking behind a curtain and hurrying down a passageway, we came out, and we've done 3. We'll go to 13. Have we done 13? Can't remember. We have done 13. Okay. Now we've been to 18. And we went to one of these already. I can't remember which one. I think we did 25. Let's go to 27. Yeah, we did 25. And then we went to 35, and that was the door with the that led us to the dead end, that big loop. Okay, so we don't want to go through 35. And that one's open. The others are closed. 34. Okay, we'll humor ourselves and see what's in 34. Okay. Well, I don't see a way back to 35, so we'll just assume that we went to 34. Even though we meant to go to 27. That's okay. A middle-class drawing room or parlor. It was amazing how much more comfortable they felt in these surroundings. Everyone sat down, some on the floor, and chattered about where they had been and where they should go. Magpies, I said to myself. Not a real thought in their heads. Now, what do you suppose that means? This is all very surreal. They were so much at ease, they almost missed what the room was telling them altogether. They finally got the message, which I thought was pretty obvious, and we went on to room 25 we did already. Right? Yep, so that leads us in another big circle. Or no. Oh, 25 was where we had come from. Okay. So shall we go to door 13? And then to 27? Or shall we go to 10? Let's go to 27 like we planned to before. So we'll go back to 13, and then yes. I just wanted to confirm that 27 was a choice. All right. Oh, we've been here. Well, it looks like the only place to go is page 9. Looks creepy, and I'm not looking forward to this. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, that was the underground page that we went to. Well, we'll go to 18. That leads us to 13 or 3. What do you think the musical notes mean? Maybe they tell us how fast we get through the maze? Let's go to 13. That was in 13 again. That was this room. And then we go to 18. Is here. 27. That's the one we were. That leads us here. I'm so confused. Okay. 18 led to 3, so we'll go to 3. And 3 we've been to also. That's this room. We'll go to 9. I think we're narrowing in on it, or we're just going in circles. 3, 18, and 9 seem like they lead in a big circle also. Let's see if we can get out of that circle. 3, 18, 13, 9. Let's go to 25. So we've done 13, 35. Let's do 34. Okay. 34 leads to 25 and 10. 10 we haven't done yet, I don't think. Ah yes, new room. Okay. Getting warmer. I hope. A room that smelled of paint. Faint voices, apparently in an argument, came from behind the locked door. You know, said one, that sounds like us in there. They tried the door, but naturally it wouldn't open. The voices stopped when the doorknob rattled. One picked up the umbrella. It may rain where we're going. I signaled my approval, and after a short rest we came to. Well, that umbrella was there at the beginning, wasn't it? Maybe all those comments about time being different in the maze, maybe there's some kind of time loop, and whenever they reach a certain point in the maze or leave the maze, then a new version of them comes through, or I don't know. But I wonder if the people arguing behind the locked door are really them. Okay, so we've got 14 and 41. We'll do 41. A room with a special piece of furniture I thought might appeal to my guests. How can we trust that thing, one remarked. Who knows where it ends up? I knew naturally, but that wasn't the point. They were pretty sure of themselves and went right on to slide. 35 goes. 35 was the room with no floor, right? Let's poke our heads up the ladder and see. Oh, nope. That's the It's a dead end room, so we'll just pretend like we didn't go in. Okay. And then 10 is where we came from. 1 leads us back to the beginning. 38 should lead us forward. Whoa, no. That's creepy. Okay, some new rooms. A narrow space where one wall boasted half-finished carvings and another some sort of carnival poster. There was a little confusion as we made our entrance, but we soon sorted ourselves out. It was impossible to climb up the slippery slide, and another door wouldn't open for us. So after emptying the pebbles from our shoes, we marched on to... What are these pictures? Looks like a gun, and I don't know what that is. Kind of hovercraft or something. Should we go through the big, creepy, temple-looking door? I say we do it. Why not? Oh. Creepy indeed. Okay. The foundation of the maze. Deep underground stones had been carved and fitted. Passages opened in the natural rock. These symbols are quite unusual, said one. They seem to be primitive signs. Do you know what signs? I asked him. Oh, you know, wind and water, hills and planets. It was surprising that he could identify any of the symbols, but I was relieved that he couldn't read them correctly. Choosing more or less and randomly, they went through passageway 2. So somehow these symbols must be the key to something. They're similar symbols as the ones before. Again, anybody who can read these, if they mean anything and they're not just made up for the book, let me know in the comments section. That would be awesome. I would love to find out. We'll go to 11. Well, 40 was on one of the recent rooms, so that must lead us kind of close to where we were before. An airy room with many doors. It was a big space, but I still felt crowded. I've always hated confinement. Whatever you do, I warned them. Don't touch that. This must be an important room, said one of them. It has more doors than any of the others. This was not true, but I didn't want to interrupt. With so many paths crossing here, we must be close to the center, she continued. I had noticed this guest before. I would have to be careful. This is an important choice, I said, trying to encourage them. Gratefully leaving the room behind, we walked all the way to it. Maybe the guide doesn't want to help them. Doesn't want it to make it too easy. 40 was where we came from. And 24. Well, of course 24 is our only choice. But that might lead us further from the center. Oh no. Here's the dark room. A place of unlimited darkness. Where are the doors? They asked nervously. We can't see any doors. Be careful where you step, said a cold voice. This spot is taken. Dozens of eyes blinked at us in the Stygian gloom. Stygian, how do you pronounce that? I don't know. By the time my uncertain visitors turned to ask me what to do, I was already far away. There are no doors, said the voice. You are here with the rest of us now. Even my bellowing laughter couldn't fill this space. Oh. Well. That's terrible. Okay, well, we're going to have to give it another go, because apparently we got lost in the miasma of darkness with all of the other victims of the maze. So, whatever we do, we can't go through door number 24. Ever again. Next time. Well, we're about out of time for now, so we will have to take on the maze again as a new group of travelers next time. Hopefully it will go better for us. Sorry that we're, for the time being, trapped in eternal darkness. I hope that the darkness of your slumber will not be eternal, and that you will awake tomorrow to a brand new day and be ready to conquer the labyrinth of your life, whatever door you may find yourself walking through on the morrow. Have a pleasant night.